thing I love to do is to prep. So I have my crayfish here, I have my periwinkle, I have my cow leg. You can see the cow leg. See how big it is? Yes. So I have my beef cow meat here. So I'm using tozo meat and I'm using ginger meat. I have my chopped cow skin, popularly known as pomo. Then I have my dry fish here. Then I have my iru locust beans here. So then I have my water leaf, I have my ugu leaf, popularly known as pumpkin leaf. I have my seasoning, it's already mixed seasoning. Then I have my fufu because I'm going to be boiling this. Then I have my fresh fruit, but I'm not putting it inside my soup. I'm putting it as a side in. So I'm going to boil it, then air fry it in my air fryer oven. So these are the ingredients that I'm using to make my Edika Ikong recipe. And I know a lot of people are going to ask, why is there no goat meat here? I do not want to use goat meat. But if you want to use goat meat for yours, kindly use a make goat. Add one, my pepper mix. Let me show you guys. This is my pepper mix, and I usually use this yellow pepper. See, add this to your Edika Ikong soup. The aroma is, please use a little because it's really peppery, so it's very hot, so use a little pepper. So yeah, I have my buchimis blender, and firstly what I'm going to do is to sauce my protein. My protein is already washed, so I'm going to sauce my protein. What I'm going to do is for me to open my pot. This is my protein. You can see how my beef is really big, because this is the way I love to use my meat. And the reason why the tozo meat is not that big is because the tozo rises. I'm going to add my cow leg. I'm cooking my cow leg and my protein together. This particular cow leg is really soft, so that's why I'm cooking it together. Then I'm going to, this pomo is very strong, so I have to cook it together with the protein. My seasoning, I already mixed my seasoning, so you can use any seasoning of your choice. So let's spice it. Turn on the fire to generate its water. So now I'm going to cover it to cook for 5 minutes before I add hot water. I already have boiling hot water, so I'm going to leave it for 5 minutes. Then at this point, I added my pepper mix, a little crayfish, I stirred, and a little palm oil. I covered it and let it cook for a few minutes to really bring out the flavor. Next, I moved on to my fish. I made sure to properly pick the fish, because one thing about me, my fish has to be spotless. Then I added some salt and hot water and allow my dry fish to soak for about 5 to 7 minutes before rinsing it thoroughly. Then I added the washed dry fish straight to my pepper mix and I stir, then covered it to cook for a few minutes. Now for the mackerel fish, this part is very important. I cooked it separately because I do not want the strong mackerel fish taste to overpower my soup. I seasoned it and let it boil for about 2 to 3 minutes, then transferred it into my air fryer oven, my Buchimix air fryer oven. I left it up for about 30 minutes. While that was going, I started working on my swallow. I made sure the consistency was just right before transferring it into my food processor. Honestly, this Cinex food processor has really helped me. I won't even lie. My God. I love the smoothness, the fluffiness it gives to my fufu, it gives to my pounded yam, and any other swallow I'm making. Yes, it's usually lump free, for real. So please kindly engage, drop your comment, drop your thoughts, and let me know. Thank you so much. Please subscribe also to my YouTube channel, and I promise I'm going to try to be consistent. At this time, my fish was ready. I had to quickly pick my water leaf, wash it. Then, because I have my Buchini's food processor, I processed it to make sure that it is properly chopped. At this stage, my pepper mix and protein were ready, so I added the water leaf. I stir. Then, after stirring, I added crayfish and little palm oil. Then I covered it for about 2 to 3 minutes until everything softened beautifully well. Then I added my ugu leaves along with more crayfish and palm oil for extra depth of flavor. Now let's talk about this periwinkle. I always go for freshly shelled ones from the market. I avoid the pre-shelled ones because of the added salt used for preservation. Fresh is always better. Once everything was in, I turn off the heat immediately. You do not want to overcook your leaves. You need a fresh, rich green look and taste. And just like that, it's ready. Look at how rich and absolutely delicious it looks. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in my next cooking video. Bye.